You are listening to the You Get to Decide podcast with your host, Allison Gallagher, and this is episode 90.
Welcome to the You Get to Decide podcast. This podcast is for the driven woman who's ready to stop spinning her wheels and start creating unstoppable momentum towards the life she truly wants. A life she decides on purpose with unlimited potential. I am your host and life coach, Allison Gallagher. Each week, you'll learn how to manage your mind so it finally works for you instead of against you, creating more clarity, calm, confidence, inspired action, and a whole lot of ease. This is where you learn to finally come home to yourself and live as the woman you've always meant to be. And when women choose themselves, they don't just rise, the whole world rises with them. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You Get to Decide. This is Allison Gallagher. I have a different episode for you. I'm interrupting my 10 weeks of 10 things I've learned in each of my hard seasons. I am like 8 episodes in on that, but I wanted to drop this in here to give you a quick little break. I did a talk for the Women's Council of Realtors of the Southern New Jersey Regional about sustainable success without burnout. And I thought I'd leave it here for everyone. So this is, I was wearing a mic, so it's not going to be the best audio, but I think it's doable. So I wanted you to enjoy this and get all the things you can out of it. And if you want me to speak, I definitely am hired for speaking locally or, globally on Zoom. So if that's something that you would like, I offer that as well. So enjoy.
I'm like so honored and super humbled to be asked to be here. I spoke last year and someone liked what I said and wanted me to come back. So my name is Allison Gallagher and I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. I started out as a photographer in 2006, just a youngin'. And I transitioned into coaching eight years ago. I started to hire coaches. I realized I was stuck in my own life. And I started to hire coaches, business coaches, to help me do what I couldn't do. I was petrified to take certain steps in my photography business, and I started to hire coaches. I had no idea what a coach was. And when I realized how much control we have over the results in our life, I became totally addicted to learning about myself and getting out of my own way. And then I was like, I'm meant to be a coach. I've recovered from an eating disorder. I was hiding food under my bed at the age of 4. So I've had a long life of emotional pain. I was in recovery for food addiction for 12 years. So I understand that side of things. I've overcome chronic anxiety, chronic fear, chronic worry, just debilitating fear and anxiety. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so I know I'm meant to lead people through all those things. And this is what I'm going to teach you here tonight is, we talked about getting out of your own way, right? You have something inside of you that you want to build, you want to create, whatever that is. I'm going to show you how to get out of your own way to create it. And what I do is I'm a life coach. I'm an identity coach. Identity is what we're going to talk about tonight. I help you lead from the version of you that can create whatever you want. We have lots of identities inside of us. And I'm going to help you lead from the version of the most powerful version of you. That's what I help my clients do as an identity coach. So, because what I know about this room is that you're super capable. You lead from your heart, right? You're hungry, you're eager, you love people, you love to serve, you're worthy, you're enough, you're smart. I want to help you lead from that version of you at all times. That's what I want to help you do. Okay? So what I'm going to teach you tonight is going to change how your life feels, how you move through your days, how good you feel in your own body, how present you are in your life with your people, how you handle pressure, how you lead when your life expands, right? When we step into different goals, more clients, or being like visibility, right? We have to show up online. Some of us don't want to show up online, but we want to create a social media presence, and we're scared to death. I deal with so many women that are scared to death of social media. This work touches your energy, your how you set your boundaries, your income, your ceiling of success, all of it. Okay. What we do as women, especially, we were talking about this, is that we have ideas, we have goals, we have things we want to create in our life that we've never created, and then we go outside of ourselves to go get the answers, to fix who we are, to become whatever we need to be to go create the thing. When we go outside of ourselves to fix ourselves, we're solving for the wrong thing all the time. I'm bringing you back to you. You are your solution. You're not the problem. You don't have to be fixed. No one in here has to be fixed. No human being on this planet has to be fixed. That's the thought error. You actually are your solution. So at 4 years old, I was hiding food under my bed. And at that moment, I decided there was something wrong with me. Okay. My mom restricted food from me because I had the predisposition to be overweight. My sister could eat whatever she wanted in front of me. My mom did not know what she was doing to me. God love her. Right? But at that moment, I decided there was something wrong with me. I can't eat what everybody else eats. Right? And I chased the fix for the rest of my life. I had to fix myself. Okay? Books, therapy, recovery, coaches. And in my own journey, I realized that 4-year-old was always my solution. We are always our solution. I created something called the Return of You. And I'm going to walk you through that tonight. Okay? But that's what it comes from, because we think we have to fix ourselves, and you have everything inside of you. Clarity, capacity, power you're looking for is inside of you. Here's what identity is. I don't know if you guys know what identity is. Identity is actually, the identity you live from is what's creating your reality. Okay? Identity is a collection of our beliefs, emotional responses, and behaviors. When pressure shows up, right? That's what takes the wheel of our nervous system. Our nervous system is kind of like the safety alarm in our body. From our spinal cord goes all through our body. It's like the filing cabinet of everything that's happened to you. And that's where your identity lives. Okay? And there's lots of identities, right? This is parts work. Internal Family Systems, if anyone knows what this is, it's a book. Okay? I didn't invent this stuff, but I use it because it works. We have all different parts. Identities are protectors that formed when we were very young. And I'm going to name a few that I believe that will land in this room. Right? Identity is not your personality. It's your default leadership. We have calm versions. We have confident versions. We have the hustler. We have the overthinker. Right? But here's what happens is all those different identities are trying to protect you and lead as you try to do different things, big things, things that your nervous system doesn't think is safe. Your brain doesn't think is safe. This is what creates anxiety. This is what creates overwhelm, confusion, stuckness, and this is what will create burnout. When you are leading from the version of you that is scared to death or overwhelmed or doesn't think you can achieve or can't handle the pressure, or the perfectionist, the procrastinator, and you're dragging those identities behind you as you're trying to create, that shit will lead to burnout. Burnout does not come from circumstances. There are a lot of people in here with circumstances that there's a lot of people on this planet has those same circumstances. Some people will end up in burnout. Some people will thrive. It's not the circumstance. It's our thoughts and feelings about the circumstance that will create burnout. And if you're leading from an identity that doesn't believe in where you're going, you'll end up in burnout. And I'm going to show you that here. Okay? What happens is if you got screaming thoughts in your head, if your head's loud, that's all the identities trying to control, trying to protect you. And I'm going to take you through how that happens. But if you have a lot of screaming inner critic in your head constantly, that's identity. My head is very quiet because I do this work. I'm leading the ship. My higher self is leading the ship. The most powerful version of me, for the most part, takes the wheel at all times. So all those identities are not trying to scream for attention and scream to protect me because I've told them we're good. We're good. And so they don't scream and my head is very quiet. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. But I lived in chronic worry, anxiety for most of my life. Okay. But those are all habits coming from protectors. Okay. Well, this is why 1 minute, even driving here, 1 minute I was confident and empowered. The next minute I was scared to death driving here. And then the next minute I was in doubt. And then the next minute was like, I don't know about that. What I just was going to say there. And the next minute I was super excited. Different. And I was like watching my brain as I'm driving. Different identities. Okay. We all have them. So I'm going to talk to you about a few of them because they might land for you. Okay. Victim identity. I love her. I've carried her a long time. This always happens to me. It's harder for me. They have it easier than me. I don't have the same opportunity. There's nothing I can do, right? The victim identity, that's literally an identity. And it's protecting you from taking responsibility. Deep down, you don't have the belief that you're capable, or you don't want to hold the responsibility of what could be coming, right? Success comes with responsibility. And if we don't think we're capable of holding it, the victim identity might show up because it thinks we're powerless. Okay? Scarcity identity. This is about morality, right? So if you grow up with a family who said, that somebody, if you make money, someone else is going to be poor, that's a morality thing, right? So now you think, I can't raise my hand and ask for more. People like me don't get to have that. It's not safe for me to have or to ask for something. And then you'll sabotage what you want, or you'll make your desires wrong. I know so many women that have desires and then push them down. I'm not supposed to ask for more. I'm supposed to be grateful for what I have, right? That's a self-abandoning identity. And that comes from desires threatened because of safety, connection, or love. If you think you're going to lose a family member if you make a lot of money and you're scared to death to lose that family member, you're not going to make a lot of money. Right? Because that's an identity that's protecting you. Okay? These are the things that sabotage us. They're literally inside of us. Procrastination, right? If we are afraid to show up, if we feel exposed, walking into a networking event to talk to new people, right? If we're scared, we'll say whatever we're scared of, right? We're going to procrastinate. Failing publicly, succeeding, or having to maintain success, responsibility, power, discomfort. So we procrastinate. Perfectionism. I say, and I read this in a book and I can't remember, but perfectionism is fear in high heels. That's literally what it is. We think it's becoming from integrity and our values. It is fear, right? And if we grew up thinking we can't make a mistake, or if we were shamed for making a mistake growing up, we have an identity of a perfectionist in us that's like, we can never make a mistake because we can never put him or her, we can never put ourselves in that position again to be hurt. So we will protect ourselves from ever making a mistake. Not fucking possible, right? You're doing new things all the time, especially if you're expanding and growing and building a business or whatever challenges you're facing in your life, right? We're going to make mistakes. We have to decide that that is safe. But if we don't know that's happening in the background, we're going to procrastinate. I have clients that will spin for weeks on making a video for social media, the right lighting, the right makeup, the right hair, the right this, the right that, right? Because you're so afraid of being exposed or being seen making a mistake. We have to decide it's safe to make a mistake. And so does that land? Like any of these things land for you? This is identity, and we don't know that they're running the show, and we have a lot of different ones inside of us. That's what happens, right? And they're fighting to keep you safe. So here's the deal here, right? Our body and mind actually love us. They're working together at all times for us to survive from love. Our body is not trying to sabotage us. It's like we need to be protected, okay? But here's what I want to offer, because this is what's happening. When all these identities are running the show, it's like our body is running on factory settings. No one told it what to do. No one told it how to lead. And so it's doing what it knows to do to protect you, right? So you're triggered, right? So there might be someone over there who you want to talk to, but you heard them say how much money they made last year or how many clients they landed last year, and you're triggered by that, right? The victim might come forward and say either, well, she has it easier, or he has it easier for me. They have a bigger network, or see, it's always harder for me. Whatever, right? A trigger happens in your body because you hear a conversation, and it's like a threat to your nervous system, right? So your nervous system tells the brain, go get safety. We feel unsafe. The identity step forward, we're triggered. The body tells the brain, go get safety. And it's going to go outside of you to go get safety. That's automatic, okay? So it's going to move you away from that person. It's going to tell you, your thoughts are going to be, well, they have it easier. They have a bigger network than me. Depending on how you're being protected from your body, the thoughts will come out, right? Oh, well, whatever the thoughts are about, especially the victim. Well, it's just always hard. It's not working out for me. This is too hard, right? Because your body is protecting you from moving forward. And instead, if the victim identity is stepping forward, you're never going to see where your power is. You could be asking, well, what do they do that I don't do? Who do they know that I can connect with? What can I learn from them, right? That thought doesn't come forward because the victim identity has stepped forward. Okay. And all of a sudden we can't be seen not knowing, right? It's all protecting is what is happening, right? So think about what triggers you. Now I'm going to go to my flip chart. So if you've ever felt frustrated with yourself, that you want to move one way and your body's taking you another, this is exactly what's happening, right? We end up doing things, I say, against our will, right? That's what happens. We do things against our will, right? An eating disorder. I ate against my will. I didn't want to eat, right? My body pulled me to eat to protect me. This is literally what was happening. Okay. So this is, and some of you have heard me speak, and so you might recognize my thought models. But, let me see. Okay. So this is factory settings, thoughts, and how it creates the results in your life. I'm breaking this down for you. Can everybody see? I'm sorry. I'll read them out. So I call this disconnected thought path because your body and brain are pulling you away from what's actually true for you. That's what I call it, right? And for me, that's pathway 1. Like I have 5 pathways. Your body and brain are pulling you away from what's actually true, from your true identity, and it's doing it to protect you, right? So they're always fear-based. These are always going to be fear-based thoughts. That's how you know you have a thought that's not from your true identity. It's fear-based. True identity is always love-based. Always. 2 different types of thoughts, right? So business client load. Maybe you don't have any clients and you're pissed. I should be farther along. That's one of the toppest thoughts from my clients. I should be farther along, right? How does that make you feel? Because here's the deal. A circumstance happens. We have an automatic thought about it. And then we have a feeling in our body, right? It's automatic. And then we act based on how we feel. We're acting based off a feeling that came from a thought we had no control over and we're believing. This is how you take your life back right here, okay? Circumstance, and you can do this at home, like with everything, every circumstance in your life. Circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result, right? So this is what happens automatically. And then I'm going to show you how to walk you through it purposefully, okay? So I should be farther along. How does that make you feel? Urgency, inadequate, pressure, small, unworthy, whatever it is. The action, we might add more to the calendar. We got to double the workload. Okay, we skip rest. We not allowed to rest now. We didn't earn enough. We cannot rest. Okay, we start to compare ourselves. Okay, result, we end up exhausted, less creative. Okay, because when we're coming from pressure, urgency, inadequacy, we're cutting ourselves off from any type of higher level thinking. Money comes from your mind. Okay? And when you are disconnected from yourself and you're running from inadequacy, pressure, urgency, not enoughness, thoughts on how to create money will be offline. Or else you're going to create from graspiness and you're going to work triple hard. Okay? Inconsistent momentum, then what's the result? You're going to confirm you're behind. Right? You're going to solve for the wrong thing. That's what happens. Next one. My schedule. I don't have enough time. I mean, we say it all the time, right? When we look at our schedule, we don't have enough time. What do? Anxious, overwhelmed, maybe resentful, frustrated. What do? We spin. We're pissed, right? Then we're not even present in what we're doing. We're on to the next thing, right? What do? We lose time. The thought that I don't have enough time will take time away from you. It will not add time to your calendar ever. Okay? The last one I just added, phone rang 2 times this week. Maybe the phone rang not at all. Maybe that's a good thing, but I'm saying there must be something wrong with me. This is like one of the number one thoughts. There must be something wrong with me. Right? And if whatever the circumstance is that you don't like and you think should be different and you think there must be something wrong with me, fear, sadness, I don't know, like emptiness, right? We start to check our phone repeatedly. Any emails come in? Seek reassurance, right? We go out and we're graspy. We can't sell from graspiness. No. We push harder, we overthink, we second guess everything we're doing when we think that there's something wrong with us. That is not a powerful thought, right? What's the result? Confusion. We might even show up less if we think there's something wrong with us. We're not going to give all of ourselves, or we might give half. Maybe less, might just hide completely. Exhaustion, burnout, right? That's what happens when we are not leading our mind, and our mind is leading us, coming from all these identities from things that happened to us in the past, right? We have 60,000 thoughts a day. It is hard to keep track of all of them, but you have control over which ones you listen to. And your brain, in order to protect you, will look at the past and say, we've been doing what we've been doing, so we just got to keep doing that because they're still alive. He or she is still alive, and so we just got to keep doing what we're doing because we're all good here. She's still breathing, right? No, in order to create different things, you have to be a different person. You have to be a different version of you. Okay, in order to create new things. You can't create new things on an old identity. This is everything, and it's here, mind and body, right? That's why your brain says, I want to go to that networking event, and your body is pulling you another way, or you want to go, but then your brain's like, but then this, and then this, and then this, and then you put your PJs on. You're like, never mind, right? So, what triggers pull you away from your truth? Are they coming to you? Maybe you knew them before you walked in this room, right? You do things against your will. So after I binged over every single thing in my life. I binged to sabotage. I binged to punish myself. I binged because I couldn't handle any feeling in my body. As an Italian, we ate to celebrate, right? Everything I would binge because I couldn't handle my emotions. I couldn't handle risk that I was taking. I didn't think I was capable. We talked about enoughness. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I was worthy. And so everything I was trying to do, I would binge to pull myself back, to feel comfort, right? And so after every one of my talks, once I started to become a coach, binges would happen, right? And so what I'll do now, and I eat against my will, right? That's not the true version of me. The true version of me, I love eating healthy. I love my protein. I work out. I love taking care of my body. My true version of me doesn't sit and binge, right? That's an identity thing. But I didn't make it a problem. I love her. I love those identities inside of me. We cannot hate them into quieting them down. There's no yelling, right? We just unite them underneath our leadership from love, okay? So this is how we do this. And we go inside our body. Okay. You have to get comfortable feeling your feelings. Okay. Your emotions are not emergencies. They're information. So when I'm feeling anxious, I pause. What am I thinking? What's going on? What am I scared of? Right? And I start to get curious about what my thoughts are and why I'm nervous to post a video or to give a talk or whatever it is that's triggering, right? Sometimes it's handling things with my daughter, right? I've learned to get very present in my body, ground myself in calm so that my daughter can express all her feelings and behave however she needs to behave. And I don't make that shit about me because I've grounded myself in enoughness. I allow her to feel all her feelings and it doesn't threaten my safety. That is the hardest part of being a parent, not portraying and projecting your safety onto our kids. Like that's legit one of the hardest things as a parent. And it's the most important thing, right? But I have to purposefully ground myself in calm and enoughness, like I am safe here. Let her do her thing and I can hold this is one of the things that I say. So here's the deal, right? So we have to unite who we were with who we are, okay? All that protection has to go under our leadership. Emotional safety is not, and this is the workbook that I offer in my coaching containers that I created. So I'm reading right straight from my workbook. But emotional safety isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. You don't run from your discomfort. You sit in that feeling, right? Feelings pass through your body in 90 seconds. Think about shame, how that feels, embarrassment, okay, doubt, fear, panic. All those feelings are coming from a thought, okay? Because we were just talking about my money trauma. Like I would sit in front of my bank account and feel sheer like terror run through my body when I would sit and look at my bank account. That shit's crazy, right? But money was connected to safety for me growing up, right? So I had to sit and be really present in my body, allow my body to feel that, let it pass through me, right? The thought is what gives your feelings energy. When you leave your brain into the thought and you go into your body, feel where it is. And this is how you can do that. Name what you're feeling. Where do you feel it in your body? Like we can observe our feelings. We're not our feelings. We can observe them. Same with our thoughts. We're not our thoughts because we can observe them. Okay, you have choice here. So where is the feeling in my body? What's the texture, size, shape, sensation? Breathe through it and allow it to pass, right? So if I'm full of fear because I'm about to do something that's scary, but I really want to do it, I allow that feeling. I just let it pass. And then I ground myself in what I want to believe it, and then I move forward, right? And this is the difference between, honestly, success and failure is this, okay? Because if we're allowing our feelings to run the show, you might get to where you're going, but you're going to feel like shit. And you're going to work triple, quadruple hard from burnout potentially, right? I don't want you to do that. So this is what I say to myself. I remember waking up, especially doing new things, especially dealing with my money situation. I would wake up, my body would wake me up in the middle of the night, sheer panic, out of dead sleep. And what am I going to do? My body's waking me up. I had to do something different, right? I lay there, put my hand on my chest, and I would say, I have the ability to hold this. I am safe here. I can hold all of these emotions at one time. The hope, the excitement, the fear, the panic, uncertainty. Our brain hates uncertainty. Everything we do is uncertain. Life is uncertain. And our brain doesn't like uncertainty, right? So I lead and say, I have the capacity is a great word. I have the capacity to hold this. And if you do that, your body will calm. You have to believe you have the capacity to hold it, right? You have to believe that thought, right? But I believed it. And your body calms down. So what happens internally is all those protective parts understand we're safe. We don't have to scream and yell. We don't have to freak out. We're safe. She's got us, right? They're like little kids in there. right? And then they know that you have them. My identities are like, she's got us, right? I've had long conversations with them for a very long time. They know. Okay? Fight, flight, or freeze, right? This is your nervous system. You no longer have that. You actually have inner connection, right? This is about reconnecting back to you, right? I say I heal disconnection, human disconnection at the root is what I say, because this is the root of disconnection in yourself, right? This is bringing you back home to connecting to yourself and your body, right? Where all the information lives and your inner power lives. And I want to live from the most powerful version of myself. I'll do anything. And this is it, right? So on the inside, it's the leadership, the connection, coherence, mind, body, and everything's working together, right? So if I want to go do something scary, my body's like, okay, let's go, instead of pulling me this way, right? What happens externally? Clarity, calm, confidence, easier conversations. You can set boundaries like that, okay? Stop addictive behavior. Bolder action, take risks, safety being seen, consistent follow through. You make more money. That's what happens. So when I would leave talks knowing, I knew that a binge was going to try to pull me, right? I don't make it a problem. When I go home, I stay with myself. I stay very present in my body. And I don't allow any distraction. I protect myself and what I know for myself by making a plan to go home and stay inside my body and decide I'm safe. I don't need to eat to celebrate. I don't need to eat because I made a fool out of myself. I don't need to eat because I said something wrong. I don't need to eat at all. I can nourish my body and I can go to bed. Staying present in myself and my body because I know my trigger, right? This creates awareness of what your triggers are, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so now we're going to go to how we want to, this is non-factory settings. So, business client load. Maybe you have a big client load and you're overwhelmed, okay? And you have doubt. Either way, I have the capacity to hold this, or the best one is I'm figuring this out. I'll fucking figure it out. I figured out every day up until this point, I'll figure this shit out too. That's what I tell myself. I'll figure it out, right? And that creates such empowerment in me and accountability, right? And that creates for me groundedness. But you have to believe it, right? You have to believe it, right? I believe I have the capacity to hold anything on my desk because it's there. So I have the capacity to hold it. And if you don't believe it, I want to believe I have the capacity to hold this. I want to I want to have the capacity to hold this. Like, you have to believe the thought for it to connect with your body, right? So calm and grounded. Then you work your schedule one by one. Present. It's enough. Whatever I do is enough. And you'll actually get creative ideas on how to solve for whatever the problem is. Okay, whether it's not enough or too much. It's going to come from higher thinking when you're grounded and calm. Okay? The result is you're more productive, you're lighter, and you even feel more powerful. So it's like, bring on more. I got this. Because think about it. If you're feeling overwhelmed now, but you want more, the universe is not going to give you more if you can't handle what you have now. The universe doesn't want you to fail. That shit's real, right? So I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm ready for more. Bring it on. And I show the universe where I can fit more in. Like, I got this. You send them all to me. I'm good. I'll figure it out. Schedule the to-do list. The time I have today is enough. Like, doesn't that just feel better? Okay, but you have to believe it, right? I believe I have enough time in the day. I just decide so. And I also don't walk around, I'm exhausted. I don't have enough time, right? It doesn't matter. I go through days without sleeping. My body wakes me up. And I've just decided that that's my body still healing. I don't make it a problem. I don't complain. I show up and do my best. I give the best I can. I don't tell my husband I'm exhausted, though. There's times where I'm like, babe, okay, I didn't sleep well. But he knows I'm up 2-3 hours in the middle of the night at times, okay? When we don't rest, it's because we don't trust. Rest is trust. That's what that is, right? And so my body is still learning to trust in certain ways, uncertainty. Okay, I'm down with that because I'm good with the uncertainty. So I don't walk around, I'm exhausted. Oh my God, it's so hard. I don't even say it. I'm not even going to let it leave my lips. I'm going to preserve every piece of energy that I have and use it so preciously when I don't sleep. Coming from love for myself, love for my body, and love for the life I'm building and the clients that I have, right? I want to be present for them. I don't want to be exhausted for them. So the time I have today is enough. Calm, confident. And then you take one action at a time. Deciding it's enough creates more, I think, creates more energy, creates more time, probably. And then you get more done. Okay? And then I did one on money. Money is neutral until you bring a thought to it. We all have lots of thoughts about money, right? So I didn't feel safe receiving. Okay, I could do a 3-hour workshop on money. Okay, but I didn't feel safe receiving, and money was connected to my worth. My bank account was connected to my worth for most of my life, coming from my childhood. So I had a lot of thoughts about money, and or your bank account. It's all neutral. So even take this home. Think about what you think about money. You have good thoughts about money or not so good thoughts about money, right? Because that's going to affect how much money you make. Okay. If you think money is hard to make or you have to trade time for money, then what does that create feeling in your body? Like urgency, not enoughness, right? And then we're frantic, graspy in our energy. And then we create less money. Like that's what happens. Okay. I could do a whole workshop about money. Okay, so this is what I want to offer when it comes to actually choosing the identity you want to lead from, right? This is probably, you might have an idea, but this is a new conversation, right? So I create something called an identity blueprint, and I created this for myself. Who is the most powerful version of me? Basically, who is the version of me that has everything I want? Okay, how does she show up? So I'm going to read them out to you. Because the most powerful version of you is the truest version of you. You're actually extremely powerful. That is actually what's true. Okay? So, and I'm sure you feel powerful at times, right? You know what that version of you feels like. Describe him or her. So, because here's the deal, the version of us that has whatever we want, they're not chasing it. They have it. So it's kind of, they're unattached to it. We have to be unattached to what we want. Whatever we chase is going to run from us, right? And so the version of us that has what we want, they're impartial. They're kind of like, yeah, this is who I am. This is how much money I make. This is what I hold in my life, the level of success, relationships. Maybe it's relationship with body, weight loss, whatever it is, right? This is why people, lose weight and then gain it back. Lose weight and gain it back. Identity. If you don't feel safe being a smaller body, you're going to sabotage your weight loss. I did this. I had the identity of struggle. And if you can relate to this, the identity of struggle is brutal because for me, the journey of losing the weight was my identity. The journey of building was the identity. So when I had it, that was not the identity that was safe. The friction of building, of losing the weight was where I thrived. Like it was like a high for me. And so I'd lose weight, gain it. Lose weight, gain it. Right? Or struggle was I'd show up in my business, make money, and then I'd binge and gain weight. So then I'd focus on the weight loss and then I'd hide from my business. It was like fucking wild, the shit that I did. Okay? Identity. The identity of struggle, I releasing that was very difficult, or not letting her run the show was very difficult. Like, because some of these identities, they have to die. Really, that's what it is, because they can't come with us. Like, the identity of struggle can't come with me where I'm going. I'm building an empire. She can't come with me. We're not struggling to build an empire. It's not happening. And I love her, but she's not running the show. So how would you show up if you had everything you wanted? Grounded, clear, calm, or no second guessing. You're enough. You trust, right? You're co-creating with the universe. Sufficient, confident. You're kind of like it's like you're all knowing, right? So describe, this is the identity blueprint, right? Because here's the deal. Your nervous system wants to know where you're landing. Your nervous system's like, okay, well, what's happening here? Well, who we've been isn't safe. So what's happening now? Your nervous system wants to know where it's landing. So tell it, this is the identity where we are now. This is who we're becoming. Like, this is where we're walking. And so how does he or she run their day? How many clients does he or she have? Spend your energy. How do you set boundaries? What does she believe about herself, her life, her capabilities? How does she or she market herself? How, client load, talk to our kids, set boundaries, all of it. Sit and describe your most powerful version. And it's inside of you. Think about it. Or think about who you envy in your life as a leader or someone powerful. And think about how they show up if you're not sure. Because if you're envious of someone, or I just did a video of this today, but if you're envious of someone or jealous of someone, that's information. That's because it's inside of you, that you're drawn to that in some way, shape, or form, right? So if there's someone you admire, get curious on why you admire them. What characteristics do they have that maybe you don't have, but you want? It's in you. Write it down, okay? But here's what you have to do, and this is manifestation. This is what this is, right? Because it's energy, right? We co-create with the energy. We have to raise our vibration to match what we want. This is how we do that. We sit in the energy of the identity we want to be. And you'll know it because you're activated. You feel expansion, powerful, excitement. That's raising your vibration. That's what that's doing. And when you practice that, you're teaching your nervous system a new baseline, right? I had a baseline of scarcity, lack, fear, doubt, awful, awful vibration, right? I had to show my nervous system a new baseline. No, this is home now. Like when I sit in that powerful, my identity blueprint, it feels like home in my body. I'm like, this is home to me now. Like, I don't want to feel any different than this. This feels so good in my body. I feel like I'm home. I am home. I've returned to me. I've returned to me, right? That's what's actually true. Our most powerful version. It feels so good in my body because it's actually what's true. It doesn't feel like shit, right? Because that's not what's true. So you're going to create a new baseline, and then you take action from that place. Take action from that activated place. Now, I know you can't do this all day, every day, right? But practice it, because here's what happens. When you sit in that new baseline and you sit super empowered in that new energy of who that version of you is, you're going to get ideas you've never had before, right? Different creative ideas are going to come to you. They're going to drop into you. Some people say it's from your future self, from the universe, whatever it is, but you're connected to a higher level thinking. Okay, that's actually what happens. And it is very, very, very powerful. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. And you do this over and over and over and over, because your brain's going to disconnect you from yourself, and then you're going to walk yourself back, right? So what I call it is the return of you. And it's a loop, okay? You're disconnected, and I've named the pathways, but you're disconnected from yourself because a part of you needs to protect you, right? And this is why we can't, shame says there's something wrong with us, but there's nothing wrong with us. There's a protector inside of our body that's pulling us to keep us safe. That's all that's happening, right? And so the protection shows up. We anchor ourselves in safety. I am enough. Get present. You have to slow down to feel this, right? The brain goes so fast, the body is slow. Okay? We have to slow down to, okay, wait, I'm enough in this moment. This is the direction I want to go. My body is overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. Let me start to really question why. Breathe through the feeling, right? Anchor in yourself, right? Connect back to yourself. Then you're going to decide what you want to believe about what you're doing. Maybe a circumstance landed on your desk and you're like, fuck, I wasn't planning on this. Well, that's life, right? Okay, if I want to if I want to deal with this from my highest level thinking, I got to ground myself in safety first. Okay, we can handle this. I have the capacity to hold this, right? And then we lead from our truth. That is the identity blueprint. Lead from what's actually true. But you have to believe that you're powerful. Okay? Take my word for it. And that is returning to you. That's what that is. And I name this because your truth is in there, but it's piled underneath all the stories we were told and all the beliefs that we have that we're not good enough and we shouldn't raise our hand and we shouldn't want more and money is bad and money is greedy and whatever. Social media is unsafe and all the stories that were pressed upon our nervous system buried who we actually are. And this is how you take your leadership back and take your life back, okay? And then create what you want with more ease, more confidence, enjoying the ride, right? If whatever we want over there, we're chasing because over there we're going to be enough. No, you're just going to move the goalpost. That's a belief. You are enough now. You get to actually enjoy whatever you are building or changes you want to make or goals that you have, difference you want to make. You're enough with or without it. And guess what? When you believe that, it's going to come way easier because what we chase will run from us. That's energy, right? So the return of you looks like deep self-trust, deciding that you're enough, living aligned, right? So my body tries to pull me to eat. No, we are all aligned. I live aligned. When my head hits the pillow at night, I know I showed up exactly how I wanted to show up. Okay, and yeah, this healed my victim mentality, my unsafe to receive, the identity of struggle, the chronic fear, anxiety, worry, and eating disorder. That's what this did for me. And this is the payoff. When you embody this, you react less in your life. Okay? You're more grounded and confident. You sustain momentum. Okay? You don't abandon yourself at regret, shame. Okay? Like you have your own back. You stay connected under pressure. You're not scared of rejection. Okay? No, it's not a threat. It's not scared of failure. Failure is just information. Success doesn't feel out of reach, and you're not going to end up in burnout. And if you do feel burnout coming over you, it's information. And you're like, okay, where am I leading from here? What am I believing about my circumstance? What am I believing about my life, my capability? What's on my desk? Okay? And then expansion is sustainable. Whatever expansion looks like to you and what you're building, what you want to create, your goals, whatever it is. Okay? That's how powerful this is, So, that's it. Yeah. I wonder, if I did a selfie?
Thanks for spending time with me today on the You Get to Decide podcast. If you love what you heard, you could follow the show, share it with a friend, or leave a review wherever you listen. The more women we reach, the more women will rise. And if you are ready to go from stuck to unstoppable, go to www.alisongallagher.com to learn all about the first steps to work with me. Come join the movement and see what is possible for you. I'll see you on the inside. But I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.